across an old box of needles that I hadn't used, and they, they were way past the expiration. So I was taking out the packaging and, putting them in the sharps, and thinking, gosh, that's a lot of packaging.
Yeah.
They don't package the same way. The packages are much smaller, much less material in each packaging. So I was really pleasantly surprised to find that.
Well, I have a frustrating thing, and all of our stuff is single use, and they won't allow us to clean it when it is perfectly cleanable. And a lot of that is from the manufacturer's requirements, because if something might, and it's all a liability issue. And it's very frustrating, because I had a particular instrument that I need for a child to come back on 3, 4, 5 times, and I have to spend $1,000 for the instrument 5 times. When I could easily reuse, I could just have them package it up, because it's only for this one child. But there's liability issues to the hospital, so they can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, for us, we don't use a lot of, I use basically my hands.
He's so green.
I know, couple needles covered.
We do use face paper, and the face paper is recyclable.
Yeah. Eco-friendly.
So that's eco-friendly for sure.
Yes, Smith is great. I want to add that I just got eco-friendly paint. My name is Lara Kolchinen, by the way, and I just opened an integrative center, and I am making it as eco-friendly as I possibly can. And there's a great place in North Park. It's a building supply store called Olive Branch, and I got really awesome paint for my center. That's, I painted it, and you couldn't even tell that it was being painted. It was awesome. It was great. No smell, nothing. So it's great. So just incorporating it in any way, free way you can, layer by layer, all the healthier options that we can do. It's just amazing. I'm bombarded with toxins.
We absolutely love this discussion, but we've noticed that we've deviated from pediatrics, so we're going to bring it full circle back into pediatrics, hopefully somewhere along the way. We had this great question. How do each of you, I'm kind of filling in words, whoever's question this is, I apologize. How can each of you work with children and families of children with emotional disorders, especially when working with emotional disorders and pain related to those disorders?
Well, the chronic pain program, actually what I've learned is that when pain becomes chronic, it becomes an emotional issue as well. It just seems like at a certain point, it's going to affect your whole being. So we pretty much practice doing that every day that we're working at Children's Hospital. Taking a kid who's got and usually they come in with some sort of a physical pain complaint. It's headaches, or it's some sort of orthopedic pain complaint, or abdominal pain, functional abdominal pain. And it's how do we address the whole thing? Because a lot of times these kids don't want to address the emotional aspects of their health. There's a stigma to having psychological care, psychiatric care. So it's like, how do you overcome that barrier to care, and then how do you, because a lot of times it's if you can address the emotional aspect of these things, the pain complaint's going to get better. We can treat the kid's elbow all day long, but if it's really like a psychosomatic thing, then we have to address that patient's psyche. And I think with acupuncture and Chinese medicine, that's part of what we do. We try to address and assess and address the whole person, body, mind, and spirit, and so I think what we're doing is actually well suited to that population of people. And then as part of our integrative team there, we have cognitive behavioral therapy, we have biofeedback, we can refer to psychiatrists if we need to refer to a psychiatrist. So I think that's part of the beauty of what we're doing there, is we are addressing the emotional needs of kids who are in physical pain. And I don't know if you want to add something to that.
Well, just that, again, we so often see kids coming in with the chronic headaches or the chronic abdominal pain at big junctions in life where they are expected to take on more responsibilities, for instance, middle school, or they're sending out applications for college. You get those 16, 17-year-old kids who are usually very bright and very high-achieving kids, and they're coming in with the headaches, and mom's frustrated. Mom says, this kid wants to be a doctor, and he's really highly motivated, but we're worried about sending them off to school with these headaches. And I have been impressed with how many things get better when the person or the child learns to manage the stressors of life, and that is one of the things I am most impressed about with the chronic pain program, is that they teach the biofeedback breathing and some of the skills that child then can take with them through life to manage the stress that's going to happen in life, that we're all going to experience, but gives them tools to manage that.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I mean, what's the number one cause of pain, sickness, or disease?
Stress.
Stress, right? So it's understand what their physical stress is, you know, what their chemical stress is, or what their emotional stress is. That way we get a bigger picture of what is going on in their health, in their life, in their body. Yeah.
I would say that it's covered.
That's a stress
Opening
for
a
sure.
can.
That's physical, chemical, and emotional, yeah.
I'm gonna get rid of that.
Yeah.
Ding. Ding, ding.
One of the things when they come in to see me, though, because I'm the surgeon, is they feel a tremendous loss of control. So on one hand, we don't deal with emotional stuff well amongst ourselves or anybody very well, but one of the, especially on the teenagers, is I try and give them limited choices, because you can't give them too many, and let them have a little bit more control over their environment, and that seems to help quite a bit. And then if you can teach them, like I had this one kid who was literally calling 911. The parents were having to call 911 at Costco all the time because her vocal cords would close. And we did a little bit of biofeedback, but the biofeedback was actually literally physically showing her what was going on in her cords and going through an episode, so she would realize that she was not going to lose control and that she was going to get through this. So I think the control aspect on the teenagers is real important.
Will you clarify what biofeedback is for those who might not know what it is?
Well, my definition of biofeedback is very simplistic.
Well, that's okay.
Well, from my standpoint, I basically would show them what their body was doing, and that they could get through a situation, and they weren't going to die, they weren't going to collapse. And I think some of the biofeedbacks, you know, from some of the muscle stimulation, is that you're figuring out what your body is actually doing, rather than being this, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen. So that's my definition. Simplistic.
Why don't you comment?
If I may, I'm a biofeedback specialist.
Good.
Perfect.
So, if I may, the current biofeedback programs that are out there basically are allowing your body to talk to your mind. And by that I mean, if, for example, you have a headache, we all have a checklist we go through. Did I eat? Did I drink enough water? Am I under stress? Okay. Well, sometimes there's nothing to do with that. It might be that you're being highly reactive to calcium. So by being able to really interpret the signals that your body is giving off as an electrical entity, the computer turns those signals into English talk or Spanish talk or whatever language. And that's really state-of-the-art biofeedback now.
Thank you. Okay, we have another one that's probably going to be a pretty hot topic here. So, would each of you guys comment on the status of vaccinations?
How you would advise parents?
How would you advise parents who are struggling with a vaccine issue for their children?
Sorry, I couldn't leave without hearing.
I would love to address that.